Have a good day. I welcome you all for the ISD Instrumentation System Design subject Unit 1 first video lecture. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the instrumentation basic concepts. Particularly, we are going to discuss about calibration and testing standards. This is a Unit 1 first video lecture. The course outcome is to explain the basic concepts of instrumentation system, and the learning outcome is to understand the calibration and testing standards, and the specific outcome is to understand the calibration and standards. There are two reference books, that is textbooks. One is Seberg, another one is C.D. Johnson. Process Dynamics and Control by Seberg, Process Control Instrumentation Technology by C.D. Johnson. Before moving to discuss about the today's topic, the Unit 1 contents are, the Unit 1 title is Instrumentation Basic Concepts. The contents are calibrating and testing standards for instruments and transducer. The standards are NEMA, DIN, BIS and ANSI standards. This is the first part. The next part is P&I symbols. The P&I symbols are based on or developed by SAMA and ISA. Next, P&I diagram for flow, pressure, level and temperature process. So these are the Unit 1 syllabus contents. Here we are going to discuss particularly calibrating and testing standards. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about introduction to calibration and standards. Next, we are going to discuss about instrumentation calibration chain, and next calibration record sheet and different standards, that is NEMA, the National Electrical Manufacturer Association. The second one is DIN, Dutch Institute for Normen. This is a Dutch language, that is a German language. The meaning is German Institute for Standardization. The next one is BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard. And the last one is ANSI, American National Standards Institute. The first and last are more or less same. The NEMA and ANSI is more or less same. So both are developed in American side. The DIN is developed in European countries, particularly German. So that's why it's given as German Institute for Standardization. The DIN meaning is German Institute for Standardization. It is abbreviated in Dutch language. So the expansion of DIN is Dutch Institute for Normen. This is a Dutch language. And our standard, Indian standard, that is this Bureau of Indian Standard. All these things we are going to discuss in this video lecture. Calibration. What is calibration? So it is compare with the standard instruments, or the response is compared with the standard equipments. For example, if I want to measure a distance, if I'm using a scale, so I need to compare whether the reading or the measurement is given in a proper standard. So that I need to compare with a standard measurement instrument. Calibration is the activity of checking by comparison with the standard the accuracy of a measuring instrument of any type. It may also include an adjustment of the instrument to bring it to an alignment with the standard. For example, if it's not come in our exact measurement or reading, then we need to adjust it to bring it to the standard level. By checking the instrument against known reference standards that have themselves been calibrated in a chain of measurements that can be traced back to agreed international standards. So The calibration is nothing but compare with the standard instruments. It has or it abide with the international standards. This is about calibration. The next is standards. What it means? Standard is nothing but it has some rules, regulations, or it has some kind of order must be followed any kind of people or any kind of instruments. So the standard is an established norms or requirements for a repeatable technical task. It is usually a formal document that establishes uniform engineering or technical criteria, methods, processes, and practices. Standards contain technical specifications or other precise criteria designed to be used consistently as a rule, guideline, or definition. So this is about standards. So you can see there's an image is given. You can see here regulations, rules, codes, standards, guidelines, compliances. All these things must incorporated that they are calling as standards. There are international standards, that is you can see here ISO, International Organization for Standardization. There is one more thing, ISA, IEEE, ISO. These are all international standards. So what it means? International standards are defined by international agreement. They represent certain units of measurements to the closest possible accuracy that production and measurement technology allow. International standards are periodically checked and evaluated by absolute measurements in terms of fundamental units. The fundamental units you may know, that is length, mass, time, light intensity. For example, if I want to measure the length, the unit is mostly it will be like a meter. The symbol it is a small m. And if I want to measure the mass, so the unit is kilogram and the symbol is kg. Same way, if I want to measure the time, the unit is second and the symbol is small s. So these are all units and the symbols are defined by the international standard organization peoples. The next one is calibration chain, that is instrument calibration chain. It consists of the national standard organization that they are developing the primary standards, primary reference standards, and the next is standards laboratory. Here the secondary standards are developed, called as secondary reference standards. And next it goes to the company instrument laboratory. There the people they are developing the working standards. And finally it goes to the instrument process instrument side. So there the instruments or the measurement is comes into the picture. So initially the standards it is developed by National Standards Organization, and next standard laboratory, and third company instrument laboratory. So here the primary standards means if I want to measure any kind of physical parameter, first I need to know what is the unit of this, and I need to know very clear about the mechanical specification, electrical specifications. So all these things are developed by National Standards Organization. So the primary standards are maintained by National Standards Laboratories in different places of the world. That is NBS, National Bureau of Standards, that is there in Washington, They are responsible for maintenance of the primary standards in North America. And there are other national laboratories, that is NPL, National Physical Laboratory. It is there in Britain, also in Germany. The primary standards, again, representing the fundamental units and some of the derived mechanical and electrical units, are independently calibrated by absolute measurements at each of the national laboratories. So this is about the primary reference standards. Next, coming to the secondary standards. The secondary standards are the basic reference standards used in the industrial measurement laboratories. These standards are maintained by the particular involved industry, that is particular industry, and are checked locally against the reference standards in the area.